Open any standard textbook on the history of science, and you will usually find the exact same timeline of human progress. The story reliably begins in classical antiquity, right here among the columns of ancient Greece, before fast-forwarding directly to the European thinkers of the Enlightenment. Accepting this linear track requires an immediate, massive geographical exclusion. It systematically writes the entire continent of Africa out of the intellectual record. This omission creates a severe vacuum in our understanding of human ingenuity, blinding us to the true origins of global knowledge. Long before colonial disruption, the African landscape hosted centuries of dense, highly developed societies. Across the continent, diverse ancient civilizations functioned as independent centers for complex scientific and mathematical innovation. Take a look at this map of the African continent. Beneath these drawn borders lay a vast network of distinct knowledge hubs. Each region developed unique scientific traditions to master their specific local environments. We are only beginning to reassemble the record of these scientific traditions and their long-term impact on global advancement. Consider the specific mathematical frameworks pioneered across these regions. We must look past basic arithmetic, examining early mastery of complex geometry and spatial reasoning. Ancient urban planners utilized algorithmic architecture. Applying repeating geometric fractals, they designed scalable cities. As population grew, the grid multiplied organically outward, maintaining structural integrity. This layout reveals the deliberate application of mathematical formulas, structuring growth from the ground up. Colonial observers frequently documented these layouts and categorized them as primitive or unorganized, failing to identify the underlying spatial logic. These civilizations hard-coded sophisticated mathematical algorithms directly into the physical structures of their empires. This spatial mathematics was paired with applied empirical science, particularly in the field of ancient metallurgy. Extracting and manipulating iron ore in harsh, variable environments required a rigorous scientific method based on highly controlled, replicable trial and error. Ancient African ironsmiths utilized complex thermodynamic principles to achieve smelting temperatures that far exceeded European capabilities of the exact same era. By hyper-concentrating airflow inside the furnace, they pushed temperatures well past the melting point of iron. This crucial metallurgical expertise provided the specialized equipment needed to dramatically expand agricultural production and secure long regional trade routes. These metallurgical breakthroughs prove that ancient Africans were actively engineering their environment through rigorous scientific methodology. This vast network of knowledge hubs faced a brutal disruption through forced migration and the transatlantic slave trade. Historical accounts consistently reduce this extraction to a demand for brute physical labor, ignoring the specialized expertise of the captive populations. In reality, European colonizers actively targeted specific populations for their indigenous knowledge in hydrology, agriculture, and engineering. We can see concrete historical evidence of this intellectual extraction right here on this marker, detailing the slave trade to Louisiana. The historical record explicitly notes that the skills and practices of those trafficked from Senegambia and the Gold Coast were foundational to the region's development. The successful terraforming and agricultural dominance of the New World relied directly on the stolen scientific heritage of captive African populations. Despite the extreme conditions of the plantation era, this specialized knowledge survived and dispersed throughout the growing diaspora communities. These adapted scientific, agricultural, and spatial traditions were passed down through generations, providing the crucial underpinning for Black survival and innovation. This continuous, unbroken thread of intellectual inheritance totally invalidates any historical narrative that labels African history as erased or lost. This heritage is a dynamic, living force within global populations today. Ancient African science and mathematics are a permanent, living foundation of human brilliance that continues to shape our modern world.